Hello again, we're back with the same team as last time, the few changes with the Rotom and the Lapras. Here to see what kind of opponents we find this time. Last time we had a very lucky encounter with a guy that wasn't sure whether or not he wanted Trick Room up or if he wanted it down or what way he wanted it. In the end, it was more beneficial for him to have Trick Room up, but him taking it down and him missing an Origin Pulse meant that I was lucky enough to get the knockout on his Pokemon before he could knock out my Pokemon, as the game works. So we have a 1589 rated player with a team of Kyogre, Xerneas, a Salamence, a Mawile, which means double Mega Potential, a Weavile, which could be quite annoying because it actually outspeeds my Mienshao, and a Cresselia. So this is going to be quite tricky because I'm juggling with the fact that I don't want Xerneas to get his Geomancy up, but also I have to be worried about quite a lot of other Pokemon in the field as well. So I feel like I'm going to lead with Mienshao and Rotom because Rotom can get fast, consistent damage out with Thunderbolt. And if he does have his Kyogre somewhere, it means that I can just Thunderbolt into it. And I can potentially trick the Xerneas with a Choice Scarf to prevent him from Geomancing, well, from benefiting from the Geomancy, because if he does Geomancy, it means he's going to be forced to use Geomancy again. And he's going to be Choice Scarfed, so it's going to take 2 turns. So that'll let me switch into something else. But it also means that I'm going to have to contend with the fact that it does have a Choice Scarf. So there's it's kind of a double-edged sword here. I also have to decide whether or not I want to bring Lapras to this matchup. I feel like I don't. But at the same time, if he doesn't get Trick Room up, it would be quite useful. So I'm gonna bring Lapras this time. Last Trick Room matchup, I didn't bring Lapras, and I was kind of low-key wishing that I did. So hopefully Lapras will come in handy in this battle. It is Assault Vest with not Sheer Cold. That's the one move it doesn't have, with Ice Beam, Ice Shard, Freeze Dry, and Hydro Pump. Due to being an Ice type, it does mean it unfortunately does not get the Thunderbolt. I was thinking about Rotom there for a second. Unfortunately, that means it doesn't get the Scald, which is a more accurate move and can cause a burn, so it's much better to use on that Pokemon, but unfortunately it can't learn that due to being an Ice type, so we have to deal with having the less accurate Hydro Pump. So here we have Weavile and Kyogre versus Mienshao and Rotom, which isn't actually too bad because he's going to fake out my Rotom and I'm going to fake out his Kyogre, and we're going to have a fun fake out exchange. But from that turn on, I'm going to be able to outspeed him and use the Thunderbolt and hopefully wide guard against maybe an Orange Impulse or a Water Spout. So here we have the fake out onto the Mienshao. I don't think he understands that Mienshao has inner focus, so that's a bit unfortunate on his part. He probably wasn't aware of the ability there. So I do get a clean Thunderbolt off onto the Kyogre. So I've noticed that he's Life Orb, so I should be able to High Jump Kick straight into the Weavile next turn and get the Thunderbolt off on the Kyogre, because I have a feeling he's going to try and target down the Rotom this turn, but unfortunately my Rotom is faster than his Weavile due to the Choice Scarf. Maybe I should have predicted going straight for the attack onto the Weavile or for some kind of switch to happen, but I feel comfortable with this move, the moves that I have selected, because even if he does switch, should be fine, and I don't think Weavile is going to protect, so he's probably going to knock off the Rotom maybe? Yes, he does go for the knockoff, and with Life Orb that should... Oh, it doesn't quite knock me out, but it does get rid of my Choice Scarf, which is kind of unfortunate, but I believe a High Jump Kick from that range could probably finish off the Kyogre. And then Rotom... I don't know what Rotom will be able to do this next turn. It actually depends entirely on what his next Pokemon he sends out is. I have a feeling it's a Trick Room Kyogre, so I might be able to just get off with a cheeky Thunderbolt on Rotom, even though it's slower without his Choice Scarf, but it does depend entirely on who he decides to switch in. That's interesting. I actually thought he might try for the Cresselia. So now he knows he's faster, he's definitely going to go for the attack onto the Rotom here. But I feel like I can still knock Kyogre out with a high jump kick from this range. And I will still go for the Thunderbolt onto the Mance, or do I want to switch? I don't really have any switches that I'm very... but he could just go straight for the Hyper Voice there. I'm just going to assume he's going to Hyper Voice here, because that would take both my Pokemon out. Go for the Thunderbolt onto the Kyogre. I'm hoping I still outspeed because it does look like a Trick Room team, but you just straight out switch the Kyogre, so we'll see what Pokemon comes out next. It might be Cresselia, because if it can get oh, it's Xerneas, okay. This will be a problem because I really need to get the knockoff off on the Xerneas, but I can't do that when I'm running my Wide Guard on Mienshao. So I think I might get off with this. He does use Hyper Voice. And I do get the Thunderbolt off on the Xerneas, which won't do much, but any damage is good damage. So am I going to assume that he's going to not use Wide Guard next turn? He's going to assume that I'm not going to use Wide Guard and go for the knockoff onto the Xerneas. And, I'd say this is a pretty risky play. But I'm going to go for it. I'm going to try and get the knockoff. And he does just go straight for the Hyper Voice. That's unfortunate. That means he gets the free Geomancy up, and I think I've lost this match. This is really bad. If I'd have gone for the Wide Guard and the Thunderbolt, I would... Oh, he went straight for the Moonblast. That's actually really interesting. So it means that I get another turn to potentially do something. So, and his last Pokemon is Kyogre, so if I can take out the Salamence, I might still be able to win this one. I don't think an E-Speed could take it out. He's probably going to target the Lapras this turn, though. So, assuming he doesn't target my, but he might. Will he Draco Meteor my Rayquaza is the question, because... Really, Lapras is the big threat right now because it can take out his Salamence in one hit. So I'm gonna risk it and say he's gonna go straight for the Lapras and go straight for the Dragon Ascent onto the Xerneas here, because I can't protect with my Lapras anyway because it's Assault Vest. So I'm putting a lot of money into the fact that he won't go for the Draco. He does protect... Oh, he protects the Salamence. Interesting. So, oh, he is faster, though. Oh, he goes for the Lapras, though. Okay. So I do get the Dragon Ascent off onto the Xerneas, and if he'd have gone for my Xerneas in the first place, that would have been very, very bad. Sorry, if he had gone straight for my Rayquaza, that would have been bad, because I believe a single target Moonblast, because... Dazzling Gleam is slightly weaker and normally 2 hits Rayquaza. A Moonblast would most likely have taken me out from full health. So that was a kind of risky play there, but it kind of worked out in the end. But unfortunately, I do not think an Extreme Speed is enough to take out a Kyogre from this range. But it all comes down to whether or not he can take out my Lapras from the range he's at right now. So I'm going to Extreme Speed with my Rayquaza, and hopefully that will be enough to take it out. And go for the Ice Beam onto his Salamence. I could have gone for the Ice Beam. I could have gone for the Ice Shard if I was worried that he would take me out. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens this turn, because I've been making a lot of risky plays this game, and honestly... I'm not sure if they're all going to pay off. So Extreme Speed does connect with the Kyogre, which should be able to knock it out. Or was that it hanging in? Oh, and now he goes for the Draco Meteor onto my Rayquaza there. But what will Kyogre have for Lapras? It really depends on whether or not he has the Thunder. If he has Thunder, then it's game over. If not, oh, he just has Ice Beam. I don't think ice types can be frozen. I might be incorrect. Okay, it's not frozen. So I do get the Ice Beam off. That was interesting because I believe Ice Beam does one-hit Salamence. So assuming nothing bad happens, extremely bad, I think I've got this game. So I should be able to just use, well, I could actually use Ice Shard from this range. I'm going to just test that out. It'll be interesting to see the damage roll on this. And he just goes for the forfeit, so there was a few risky moves there, but I think I played it not too badly. I made a few mistakes on names, as always, but hey, it wasn't too bad of a battle, but I feel like there was safer plays I could have made in the situation. Like, if he'd have Dracometered my Rayquaza right away, I would have been in much bigger trouble. I'm assuming he thought I would protect with Rayquaza or something like that, but he was contending with the potential Ice Beam from the Lapras, so I'm assuming that's why he went for the protect, and the fact his last Pokemon was the Kyogre meant he had to play a bit more safely, but at the same time, if he had managed to take out my Rayquaza right away, that would mean I would have nothing to really handle the Xerneas, and it could have gone for the Moonblast, gone for the Geomancy, and just completely swept my team. I'm actually lucky he didn't go for the Geomancy in the turn that Mienshao and Rotom were out, so maybe it wasn't a Geomancy set. I didn't actually notice any of the speed ties or anything like that. Though Salamence did go first, so I couldn't have been Choice Scarfed. I'm assuming it was some kind of different set there, but that was really fortunate. We managed to win that one, and hopefully there'll be a lot more wins in the future, but yeah, that was a bit risky, but that's what happens when you play Pokemon. You make some risks, you have to make some calls. Anyway, see you guys later, bye!